And I am here with Rafael Kanopf. He is the man of content. Content.
That's it.
So on this podcast, we actually, I've talked quite a bit about content on here, especially with like the musos and stuff I've had on. And even I've had a couple of marketers on and that. So for anyone who doesn't know who you are literally a content creator for businesses.
A bit more than that.
A bit more than that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We basically an authority machine. So whatever you want to become, we through content can get you there. Yeah, content is the vehicle, really.
It really is.
It's not what we sell. It's not.
No,
we don't sell the videos or the photos. If that makes any sense. Like, we're not a production agency. We don't sell a video and here you go, it's $2,000 for a video. Do whatever you want with it. We work on the pre-production, the strategy, and the post-production in a way that will make much more sense than just having a video and then hoping that it will talk to your audience. Yeah.
It's the whole process, isn't it? Because it's that whole with creating organic content, because that's what you specialize in, is creating organic content. What are you seeing at the moment in terms of where we are at with content creation in terms of not just social media or for businesses at the moment? Where do you reckon we are at the moment? In 2024.
New Zealand based? That's the question, or we are in the world?
Well, New Zealand's always a bit behind.
Yeah,
so
quite a lot. Quite a lot behind.
Let's go with like America, or like kind of the cutting edge.
So I think
content.
that we're going through a quite interesting change, right? So if you think about it, probably 3-4 years ago, the whole idea of even more, 5 years ago, when making things pretty wasn't so easy. So you could sell on the idea of making something stunning and just pretty, like the whole idea of making a video with like well lit will give more engagement than a video that wasn't well lit, or a video that was done on a cinema camera would probably give you more engagement and more views than a video that was done on a iPhone 8. So that was 2020, 2018 vibes. Nowadays, it's almost the opposite. It's almost like too curated, too polished. People are like, fuck off, you're trying to sell to me. So I'm away from this because this is an advertisement. So when you create content that is a bit more organic or even trashy, people go, all right, I'll follow you. I'm getting entertained. Like, what's up with this? And then you get to a point where the followers are there to be entertained, and then you can cultivate that audience and then make a sale. But that's not the initial reason that you created the content. So I'd say where we are at the moment is we're going more and more towards organic, real life, cell phone, natural light, personality kind of content.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I was watching this guy break down one of his music creators on YouTube, and how he does it is really basic, but I think this is kind of what you're talking about. Sort of starts with like entertainment type, very easy to digestible content that's funny or provides some kind of entertainment, and then it goes down. I think the next level of the funnel is more like trying to get people to then look at his courses he's got, and then obviously the sale is to buy the courses.
Correct. Yeah, that'll be the CTA part of it. Yeah.
So it's like it's quite a simple formula, I suppose, but I think this is what you're meaning. Like this is what's becoming.
That's exactly what I mean.
Becoming that. Yeah.
But the problem with most businesses still, and if we bring it back from America to New Zealand, right? So if we talk about our place here, let's talk about New Zealand. The problem is people are still very, very focused on returns tomorrow, right? So I had a meeting with a client yesterday, so this is very fresh. And the client, at the brief store we run, the first meeting is called discovery meeting, which is basically a if meeting, which is if your goals and your values and your alignment is according to what we sell, we might do some work together, we might not. Maybe your budget doesn't fit what we sell. It has, how it is, lots and lots of variables. So we call it an if meeting. Let's sit down and then see what we can do together. That's the approach for our number one meeting, right? So I normally don't have the number one meeting on here are the contracts, here is what the price is, it's more like, all right, let's have a coffee and see what do you need to do. And I'll tell you, I can't do that because that's not what we do. Or, oh, absolutely, that's exactly what we do, and it costs this much.
Yeah.
So that's the if meeting.
It's like, where is my leads, Raf?
Correct, exactly, and that's
Which is
the
what
point.
people
That's
want,
that's the point I'm trying to make. So,
mm.
one of the things that we say very clearly is, it's just honestly, I cannot say more clearly. We are not a lead generation agency. We are not a lead generation agency. I am not gonna give you 12 leads a month, and that is my job done. Definitely not it. We are organic agency. We are more towards actual authority, actual brand recognition, actual liking that brand, and then you build an authority, and then you create a sale.
I think people don't understand how long this takes now as well, especially with creating organic content regularly.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean once a week, it
No.
means every day.
Yeah, or more.
Or more,
Or
ideally.
Like now we have clients that will be on an average of 10 to 12 a week. So that's almost twice a day.
Yeah,
like
twice a day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of content. Like it's and you and I know, and people that are listening here, they are into content and digital creations, know that it's not like, boom, another video. It's not how it works. You've got a massive team behind there. So okay, so the meeting that I had yesterday, going back onto that point, the client just straight away basically told me, look, that's what I want. I want this, 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 and this. And one of the things was, I want 25 leads a month. And I'm like, okay, let me ask you something. Like, why do you want 25 leads a month? And he was just very, like, because I can close. I'm like, can you do? Because there might be 25 leads that don't even know you.
This is something
don't
else
like what you sell.
People don't understand about digital marketing and content.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like nowadays we live in an era of, if you don't give you what we promise, you don't pay. Oh, shut the fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like nowadays it's, can we swear on this podcast?
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah. Okay, great. So the whole idea of like what you see on Instagram nowadays is, if we don't give you what we're promising you, don't pay the contract. Oh, fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. Because what did you promise? You promised 12 leads, and then people send you an email and be like, hey, Scott, how much is for the car you sell? Oh, 15,000. I only have $6,000, so bye-bye. That's not a fucking lead. that's not a lead.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand.
You know what I mean?
I've had that so much in marketing.
So
as well.
that's really not a warm enough lead that you generate a sale. So I asked this guy and I said, look, do you want 25 leads and then just give you, like they would just say hi to you and then I'll give you an emails for leads and then you contact them and they will be completely cold? Or would you rather have one,
Yeah,
two...
how far down the funnel are these leads?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
people
maybe,
understand that.
would you rather have 1, 2, maybe 3 people DMing you and going, hey, this is really cool. Like, can I know more about it? That is a very different game, And then I told him that we are now running close to 750 this year, and we didn't put $1 in ads yet. We're a year and a half agency, and we haven't put $1 in actual ads. We have a boost here and a boost there, but there's no funnel, there's no campaign. Everything that we do is based on, we're doing this for our clients, and we're documenting all the steps. And then people watching it, and they're going, shit, can you do that for me? Yes. Now that lead, I don't want 25 leads a month. I want 3 or 4. They're out of the 4, 2 close. That's how we work with the lead generation. So it's Rafael Kanopf is getting a name in the industry. The Brief Store is getting a name in the industry. People that work in specific niches like real estate agents, they, for some reason, happen to love us. So, oh, you did this work for this person? Yes. Can you do that for me as well? That's it. Referral and organic. It's where it's at now for us. That's the biggest punch is telling story and allowing people to like you or not.
Tell me about why you got into trying to create something like this. What drove you to create a business like the Brief Store?
I had businesses for a very long. I had a few businesses before, and I always found that I consider myself a good salesman. I'm a good salesperson. But nowadays it's very difficult because, it's very different. Because back in the days it was physical connections. It was literally, I know Scott knows Ref sells content, Scott buys content, we're good. Now Scott knows another 50,000 refs, and then which one he's going to buy it from. So it's a much more... who is on your face now will be the one that gets the ticket, right? So I quickly realized that my businesses, they always had a bottleneck, which was nobody knows us, so we have to be known. and to be known is expensive because you have to create a story or you have to make, like back in the days it was always ads, TV ads, radio ads, newspaper ads and all of that. And I was like, okay, is that a way? And then I started getting into more and more into the organic side of things, and I realized that there's kids out there dominating markets of 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 10 million people, and they are just telling stories. And then after that, they will sell merch or a course or this thing or that thing. But they first curated their audience, right? So I was like, how does it not work for business? Because it should. And then I realized that there are businesses doing that. And then, 2.5, 3 years ago, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then officially open the agency just under 2 years now. And yeah, it just came to a point where New Zealand is behind the time. So this is already a revolution happening in America and South America and India and China.
Yeah.
And then New Zealand's like, oh, maybe can you do 3 ads a month for me? Like, no, bro, no. That's not how it works. You know, like you have to create stuff. Yeah.
You also have the Brief Store TV, which I've been checking out a bit. So that's that's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
telling all the jokes and having fun.
Yeah, the Brief Store TV was kind of a funny one because I decided to not mix things up, right? So our content on the Brief Store is more what we're doing. It's a little bit more educational. It's how you should do, how we are doing. If you want to do it like us, do it this way. It's more instructional and also entertaining, which is we're always showing how we do things. So like we have most of our productions, we take a dedicated person to do behind the scenes. So it'll be a videographer that's not being paid by the client, that's being paid by us to film us filming the client. You know, so we have a ton of behind the scenes always. So we're always showing people what we're doing and how we're doing it. So that's probably one of the coolest ways to talk to our audience. But it doesn't allow too much for jokes, for funny, for pure trashy entertainment. It kind of like mixes with the brand, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to open a similar account or similar name account, which is the same name, just with TV at the end. And I'm just going to focus on pure entertainment. So I'm not going to talk about the agency at all. I'm just going to entertain people. And then one of the easiest ways to entertain people is jokes. You know, like it's a format that's old. It's not bloody new. I didn't invent the format. People like Mad are doing it for a while and they're enormous and it's great. And we're just like, okay, let's not reinvent the wheel and then do something that works, that is proven to work, but it's our style, you know, like, and then there's none of those in New Zealand, so we decided to do it. Like, there's only Kiwi group of jokers, you know, and then we decided to just make it work, and it worked beautifully. Like, we've got, I think, 45,000.
Nice.
45,000 Instagram followers.
How long was that account?
5 weeks.
5
No,
weeks.
sorry, 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
And it's all organic content.
Not a dollar.
Wow.
Paid ads. Wow. And we are reaching over 5.6 million accounts every month.
What would you attest that to?
What you mean? Like in another business? Like would
No. Like just with obviously it's jokes.
Like
the
reason
it's easier.
It's the format.
That's the format that you do.
The reason is
the storytelling in each reel to each video.
Yeah, because it's actually filmed terribly. It's filmed with. We were too busy when we started filming TBS TV, and most of our cinema cameras were busy with other productions. So we filmed in cameras that are exactly the same as those, like point and shoot cameras. You know, so it was nothing. It was not a big production. It was pretty simple. And I used to be the manager of White Studios, so we just had a affiliation with Charles, the owner, and then he was just like, "Yeah, man, just film here for super cheap." So we just. Yeah, it's a low budget style, but the reason why it went big is the format. It just, you know what's coming, which is two human beings sitting in front of each other, telling a joke. Most of the times the jokes are quite offensive, which is another point that you're like, oh, I want that because that's my
and people
style.
want to watch to the end to get it, and then that's when you cut it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's basically getting the treat.
Yeah.
You have to wait just about 15, 20 seconds, and you get it at the end.
Yes, and then another thing that made it go big, which was very clear for us, was people don't most of our videos on TBS TV have less likes than they have shares, which is very unusual. Why is that? Because it's so controversial. It's so un-PC, that sometimes people don't want to be...
Don't want to like it.
Don't want to like it. Because
Yeah,
then it
yeah.
goes like, Scotty liked this.
Yeah.
But you send to your mates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you send to another 12 dudes.
Oh, I do that all the time.
You know, we all do that. Like, you're taking a shit and you're like, oh, bro, check this out.
Yeah.
We all do that. Like, that's... The sharing is what makes it big. You know, because we're like, bro, check this out. But you don't... It's not something that you're going to go and like and then share on your stories. You know, like, it's not... You don't want to make it linked to you, but... It's quite relatable. So you go like, bro, check this out. You know, like that's what made it big. It's the format and the shareability of it. Yeah, yeah.
So do you reckon, like, with each platform, so we've got Instagram to even like YouTube Shorts, even YouTube videos, let's say 5-6 minute videos.
Yeah.
If you're a business or a content creator in that, do you want to frame it and storytell the same? Or you want
for all platforms, you mean? Like, if you use the same style for all platforms? No, I wouldn't. It really depends on budget. It really depends on budget. Like, okay, so like I'm going to answer the question differently. I would say post on everything.
Yes.
If you only have budget to create for one. So if you have the budget to create for one platform, you reuse that content on all of the other ones. Fuck it. You know, that's okay. If you have the budget to curate content for each one of the platforms, that's the way to go. The wrong way, in my opinion, is to create content for one platform and don't reuse that content on other platforms. Like, oh, this content is not very TikTok, it's more Instagram. Bro, who cares? Just post it.
You never know.
You never know.
That's what I did with this podcast.
Exactly, just post it.
You just have I have no idea. And it blows my mind to which video, which is the same format, will do well on one platform and do trash on the other.
Because it's a different business. Like, they are selling different things. You know, like TikTok and Instagram are selling different things. Yeah, they are on the currency of attention, but it's a different way. You know, like nowadays TikTok is much more of an engine, a search engine than Instagram. You don't go to Instagram to go, how do I assemble this IKEA drawer? You do that on TikTok nowadays, because there will be a chick like on a bikini saying teaching you how to do that in 45 seconds. You're like, okay, fuck yeah, cool. I saw a chick and I learned how to do the draw, so that's cool.
Did you really learn anything?
No, probably not. No, really not. But like, people do search it. That's I guess the result of like, did you learn? It's probably not the point. It's almost like you did search it.
Yeah,
you know,
you searched it, you're entertained, you might pick something up. I think the first one I ever saw on TikTok, when I first went on the platform, must have been 2019, was a guy who cleaned pools.
Cool.
And I was blown away by how popular it was. Because it was a guy who was literally just narrating him bleaching pools, cleaning them, getting the dirty pools. But obviously it's so satisfying. And again, that like result at the end, like you know it's going to be clean, but how clean is it going to be? But it's like so boring.
Yeah, so boring.
But made it.
But amazing. Yes.
Amazing.
I love those guys, because now I don't even, honestly, there's a bunch of them.
Of course.
They cut grass. Like they are like just, you know, they would just mow your lawn. But they would do it. There's one guy that I forgot his name now, that I'm thinking, and he would do it for free. So check this out. That's how cool this is. He started cutting grass, and that was his business. He would make money out of cutting the 20 square meters of your garden. Now he doesn't make money out of mowing the lawn. He makes money out of the content. So he'll knock on the door and be like, "Excuse me, ma'am, your garden looks pretty shitty. Can I do it for you?" I have no money. It's absolutely free. Because he knows that the millions of views that he's going to get on all platforms because of their content will pay him 100 times fold he would make on the mowing the lawn. So now he just has a free content machine that makes money, and he no longer sells the mowing the lawn. He sells you and me taking a shit and watching him mowing the lawn. That's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's crazy, because a lot of businesses are doing that. Like, you do the business. Like in Brazil, for example, I use Brazil very often because there's a massive amount of people. It's just like, it's almost like India, you know, it's enormous. So people do what they can to sell more. So there's lots of street sellers, you know, like sell water, sell sweets, sell this, sell that. And all of them understood that if you have personality and a shitty phone, you can create content. So there's one guy that I can think right now, and his idea is, I was homeless and now I am a businessman. He doesn't call himself a millionaire, but he's a businessman, right? So he owns a big factory that sells cakes, like tiny cakes.
Right.
But the idea is he documented the whole thing, dude. As soon as the moment that he put his hands on the cell phone, he started going, hey, my name is whatever, I forgot, and I'm going to find a way to sell something on the streets. And then he documented the moment that he found this lady that makes the sweets for him. And then he documented the moment that he went to Kmart and bought a little chiller. And then he puts the sweets into the chiller. Now, okay, guys, first day, let's see what we do. Go outside. Right, so I sold 6 of my 10 sweets and it's still 4 to go. And that's the content. And now he has 15 dudes selling sweets for him. And I can guarantee you, because of the views, he makes more money out of the content than the sweets.
And the sweets itself. And
so like the sweets itself is another generation of content that he talks about and all of that, but the creation of the content makes more money than the business of selling sweets on the street.
Well, saying all this stuff about like creating content that's more organic in terms of personality, authenticity, is there still space for like well, not old school, but like very produced ads?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I guess it depends on where you put it within the funnel. It's all about
where you display it.
And where you display it, and who you show it to.
Exactly.
Because it's all got to be about, your awareness to surface level consideration to then the purchase, right?
That's it. So like for me, background is videography, photography, right? So I've got lots and lots of friends. They are DOPs and cinematographers and high-end big dick creators, like amazing. And I love their work. But it's crazy when I watch it. I go, I'm selling something so different than what you guys are creating, And, for example, you can talk about music because that's your thing, right? Let's bring that into music.
I do a bit of everything on here, but I just like a lot of the people I've had on. But I've had MMA fighters, marketers.
No, I get that, but I mean, like you're a musician yourself, right?
I am, yeah.
So like we can talk into like let's say video clips, right? So video clips are a great one because if we go back to 90s, a video clip was a movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the price of a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was the length and the price of a movie.
A music video was so expensive.
Exactly.
And you'd have to be signed. Like, the amount of effort to do a music video was ridiculous.
Have you seen Thriller? Michael Jackson?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There's a pre-course. There's like it's a story to it, and then you watch the music, and then there's an ending to it. Honestly, it's a movie, right? It's a short film. It really is. So that would be an enormous budget. Nowadays, if you have, like, let's say more realistic, a tenth of their budget. Let's say you have $100,000. You're starting musician, you don't have too much money, but you're already out there. You're making some good gigs, and you have $100,000 for your budget for marketing, right? You would be insanely irresponsible to put $100,000 on, let's say, one video clip and then some traffic money for that video clip. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is insane because you would be much better off to get $70,000 and then create a structure of daily videos or almost daily videos, and the other $30,000 you could just put into generating traffic for you out of authority only, not sales. You're not selling music. You're just being seen. And if you did that for, let's say, 2 years, you wouldn't even need the 30K anymore because now the machine is just generating views, and then you're selling your music throughout a machine that you made and not a video clip, because who watches a video clip nowadays, like entire anyway? So like those little 3-second snips that you have on Spotify, that would be more entertaining than a video clip,
It's the attention market. That's what we're all trying to grab. Even I'm trying to grab it. I mean, in some shape or form.
This is an attention. You're selling attention.
Of course.
People are listening to us blab right now. It's an attention. It's exactly what it is. Yeah.
But there's just like so many people. Like that's the market right now. I still think New Zealand's a little bit behind with understanding that. Like I think with understanding like the attention market.
Yeah.
And also just how long I think businesses are so. I don't know. I've never worked in Brazil, or I've been to America, and I didn't work in a business, but I was there for a while. And I think one thing I realized over there more, obviously massive market in that, but I think people are more like committed and more. People do expect things quickly, but they understand. I think that there's so much competition. You have to like work really, really hard. Whereas New Zealand, we're a bit lazy with that, I find, at times.
I don't know if the word is lazy. Myself, personally, I don't know if it's lazy, but it's definitely uninformed.
Uninformed?
Yeah. Like, I deal with clients sometimes, or potential clients, because normally those guys won't become clients because of this exact problem, which is like their revenue is 1.5 million dollars a year, and then you tell them that a structure where it's gonna completely revamp their social media, with ads included, with a strategy included, with guidance coaching, with pre-production, post-production, with high-end content. It will cost 10% of that, and that is sometimes a scare. And then sometimes you see right away who you're talking to and how they understand it. Because if you are spending 10% of your revenue in marketing, that is just normal. That is just, you actually,
Should do more.
you're saving money. You know, like if it's working at 10%, well done. Because like for us at the brief store, we put a good 25 back because we're still a starter. You know, like we're still a startup. So I put a quarter of it back on to make it bigger, bigger, bigger. So if you're not understanding that on an everyday life, you should be spending at least 10% of your revenue in marketing. And what we sell is a stress-free solution for your attention-grabbing mechanism, and you don't see that, it's because you're not there yet in terms of the vision that you have for your business. Maybe you don't even believe in that yet, you know? But the thing is, when it comes to that point, I always say to people, I know it's working right now, but so was Kodak, so was Nokia. You know what I mean? So
It's gonna change.
it's very simple though, and you can't really panic and try to change when the change already happened.
The platforms are changing so much at the moment, even as we're speaking. One of the big things, obviously AI, blah blah blah, but one of the big things with Google at the moment, and it's changing SEO, is search. Is it SGE, search generative? I can't remember the exact
Is
term.
it the AI search thingy? Yeah.
It's AI search,
Yeah.
but it's going to completely change how SEO is
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
So a lot of the analysts I'm seeing on LinkedIn are like freaking out a bit because again, now it's like a refocus. So the
And
formula
it's crazy how
before,
fast it's all going.
so quick,
right?
it's so
It's
quick.
so quick. Yeah.
So
yeah.
what you're saying is like exactly right. What works right now doesn't mean it's going to work in a month or
No,
next year.
no.
Maybe it works for a little bit. You have to be
Yeah.
constantly researching and watching what these platforms do. And one thing I would try and tell people I've worked with doing even like paid advertising and a few other things is these platforms aren't yours. And that just takes so much sometimes for some people to understand that these are not yours. You need to play what the platform's game wants, not your game.
That's it.
But a lot of people don't like it, and
Yeah.
or they don't quite understand that it's like, oh, this is what I want to do on it. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
but is that formatted correctly?
I
Is
have
this
that
the
trouble.
rule? Is this the rule? I mean, it's not easy. I'm not saying I'm figured that out 100% myself, but it's just interesting, especially when I've talked to businesses and clients about it, and they're like, oh, we want to do it like this. I'm like, it's probably not going to work. So, no, do it like this. I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens when we do it like that.
yeah. But to be honest, it's funny that you're saying this because I have this conversation with clients all the time, and you do too, I'm sure. Which is, I'm the architect. You contracted me to build this house for you. I'm telling you we should face north, and you're telling me we should face south.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I am telling you that the sun will come in this house and make the house more welcoming and warm if we face north. And you are telling me that we should face south. Now it's a conundrum because you are paying the bill, but you're paying the bill for a specialist to come and tell you what to do. So it's ego versus result versus I don't want to lose the client versus I know what works. And then you just have all of those things happening at the same time. But I'm a very straight up guy. I'm the way I run the business is very simple, and I do tell all of my potential clients and my clients from the beginning, which is, I don't know how to sell what you sell. I don't know how to sell your product. I don't. I know how to sell you. So just listen. You know.
Yeah.
We should do this way. Oh, but I prefer red. Blue will go further. Oh, okay, we do blue then. Oh, we did blue and it went so well. You know what I mean? So that comes down to that point of you have to have a relationship with your client that has to be honest enough for you to call him or her on his bullshit and be like, Scotty, I understand that you want pretty videos of you coming in and out of your Beamer, but that doesn't sell. That does not sell. That can be once a week to show brand presence and entertain people. But if we just made an entire structure of you looking gorgeous, bro, chill, you know.
But I want to look pretty.
Yeah, well, that's great. You know, like I know that's actually quite cool because you do want to look pretty, and I get it. We all do. But yeah, I guess yeah. But the whole idea is yes, you want to look pretty, and we'll make you / your brand look pretty, but looking pretty doesn't sell. So you need to give. What are you gonna give? Are you gonna give it a laugh? Are you gonna give information? Are you gonna give peer entertainment out of storytelling? Are you gonna what are you gonna give? Because if you don't give, you're not gonna get nothing back. You know. And in the currency, what I say give and get back is you give me something, and I'll give you my attention. Because the currency is attention. Right.
That's what's going to get it. How long do you plan your content for? Not for clients. Do you do it as like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months?
For clients or for the brief store?
Both.
For the brief store, it's a bit more on the go. So for the brief store, we don't plan too much. We have always a month ahead done.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty spontaneous, so I see what's kind of happening on the world, and then I get my videographer. We just go outside and then shoot some videos, you know. And then it's just more raw stuff, more based on my personality, and we just teach some stuff, some points that make sense, and that in a combination with behind the scenes throughout that month of filming is the content, right? That's what we do at the moment. So it's educational / entertaining. That's the punch that we go for the brief store, which is actually the biggest punch for most of our clients. Educational / entertaining.
Yeah.
That is the point. You know, like you teach, that's just what I just said 2 seconds ago. You teach, so you give, and then you receive, right? So most of our clients, we have the first 30 days is strategy and what we call blueprint. So we don't actually call it strategy, we call blueprint. And it's basically creating the map. It's creating who are we talking to, how are we talking to them, where are they, what sort of tools are we using, what's the punch that we're going to use to get their attention. And then all of that is, and that's one thing that I find it very interesting, all of that is based on experience and guess. There is, if you're sitting in front of a strategist right now or a marketing guru, and he's saying, I know what's going to make it work for you, and I know how I'm going to make you viral, run.
Yeah.
Run as far.
Yeah, you got that viral word is.
Run as far as you can, because viral does not mean brand awareness or brand.
Sell anything.
Nothing. You know, we can use an example.
Unless you're hot to her, then maybe.
Maybe. And actually, she lost a lot of money. She lost a lot.
Has she already?
Well, of course.
Right.
Let's be honest.
I just saw all the merch getting done.
She
I'm
took
just
3
like,
weeks.
hey,
I think it was 3 weeks to actually create an Instagram account.
Too long.
Bro.
Too long.
Should have taken 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have more followers than most people, because she actually put America together. She put the world together. Everybody knows what Hot 2 Chick is.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's quite crazy. Yeah. But we can use
That
it as an example that we were talking about the 2 accounts, TBS and TBS TV.
Right.
The brief store is an agency account. It's a business account. It's boring, right? Because we're talking about business. We're teaching, trying to make it as fun as possible, but it's a bit like it's much easier to grow a personal account than it is to grow a business account, right? So a face in there makes it easier. So therefore, the brief store, I think, has 1.7 thousand followers, which is not impressive at all. But
it's impressive for a business that's only been around for about a year.
Exactly, yeah. Well, yeah, 16, 18 months. But the impressive part for me is that we generate all of our revenue out of it. That's the impressive part. I don't care for the 1.6, 1.7. I care about, we have 3 to 5 to 6 maybe people DMing us monthly, and I close 50% of them. So
it's perfect.
You know what I mean? Like that's how it works. Now the Brief Store TV has 46,000 followers as we speak, and I think it's 5.6, 5.7 million accounts every month. We've got videos with 9 million organic, videos with 8 million organic. Majority of our views go above 25,000. I've never made $1. Never made $1 out of the Brief Store TV. In fact, is a sink of money, because I have to pay for the production and the editing. I've got a dedicated editor the entire year that does just the Brief Store TV content. That's a salary right there. So it goes out a lot of money. But I have used the Brief Store TV to close clients, because you go, that's what you could do. All right, I want to do that. Then we have a social proof,
Yeah,
a proven
it's proof.
record of it.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
it is. Like the British Store TV always been for me all right, let's do it ourselves. Right, let's do it. Boom, we got big. Right, now let's show people like, look, it's easy. You know, if you want there, let's say you sell beer. You know, it's a brewery here in New Zealand, and it's your entire branding is a bit like on PC. You know, like the whole fuck woke kind of situation. If that's your branding, that would be quite cool to just make it a controversial channel. And it will go crazy because people love it. And then your brand is out there the whole time. You're not selling directly on Instagram, but you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of views. When they walk into the liquor store, they will be like, oh, I'm actually going to buy the root beer. You know, I'll buy the whatever. Yeah. So that's, yeah.
When did you move to New Zealand?
15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
From
almost 15. Yeah, 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
From Brazil.
Brazil.
What was the town? What was the?
Porto Alegre. That's capital of South.
Capital of South.
Yeah. A small town, 4 million people, I think.
What are the biggest differences you've found living here now for this long? Like, even just in general, like biggest things that you've ever been so
It's
different
far,
compared
right?
to being home.
We should do a chapter 2 podcast just on that because it's it's crazy.
You can give me the highlights.
It's quite interesting how the game is so different. You know, like the culture is different, the values that people carry are different. Obviously, the language is different, the expressions are different, how you do things are different. So, for me, it was a massive shock at the beginning, but I loved it. I loved it from the word go.
What was the biggest shock? People's personalities, or just how
I think
the
the biggest
culture
shock
was
was
conducted?
I got here, I couldn't speak a word of English. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's probably my biggest thing. Was
That's
like,
ballsy just to move straight to New Zealand without speaking a word in English.
Honestly, I couldn't
What
speak
was
a
the
word.
reason?
More opportunity.
More opportunity? That's
Yeah.
something I haven't really heard.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, just the whole old school immigrant reason, which is getting the fuck out of a place that doesn't work for you so you can find more opportunity for tomorrow. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, honestly, I know glamorizing or BSing. I left Brazil because I come from a very, very humble family. And in a country like Brazil, it's very similar to India. You're from a layer, you stay on that layer. You know, like it's harder to break through. When in New Zealand, you having a coffee at Kohi Marama Cafe, and then Josh Emmett just grabs a coffee with you. And you're like, didn't I see you just on TV last night? Yes, you did. And then now that's it. Like all the realities are mingled. You know, like you go for
It's
a run.
not as completely separated. It's like
It's
the
very
Brazilian
not- it's very
celebrities are
not
like, ooh,
separated.
yuck, like these poor people.
No, the majority of people that would say it is separated are
Okay.
people that are not traveled enough. You know,
Okay.
I don't mean to offend anybody, but that's truth. If you think that New Zealand is segregated, you haven't traveled much. You know, because like the world is much more segregated than New Zealand. New Zealand is like you need to go and pick this thing up. You go to Otara. Otara is the biggest country or the biggest area in Auckland that has biggest violence. Yeah, but you're there all the time. You know what I mean? Like you go and grab this, and you go to you go from Otara to Remoera. You know, and it's like okay, the economy is just completely changed, but people are in those realms. You know, like they're overlapping there quite often. When countries like Brazil, you don't go to the rich areas if you're poor, and if you're rich, you don't go to the poor areas.
You stay more inside your own bubble.
Yeah.
More so in your own bubble.
And also social as well, like the malls, the restaurants, the bars, the shops, the parks, the whatever the hell it is, they are much more segregated. And obviously, I don't mean segregation as in like
I know what
it's
you're
not
saying.
gonna be like whites only
Yeah.
sign on it or rich only sign. Obviously not. But you just don't go there. You know, like it's an unspoken rule that it is segregated, you know? And yeah, there is a middle line, of course. There's a middle line. There is the guys that will be, you know, kind of like going where a bit more powerful would go and then kind of experience where the less fortunate would experience. That's the middle layer. But the middle layer is much smaller. It's a small layer. The big layer is the filthy rich and the
Sure.
people that I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay for lunch today. Those are the big chunks. When in New Zealand is the opposite. In New Zealand we have a increasing layer, but a small layer of billionaires, like the actual powerful rich in the world, and then a small layer of I don't have money to buy bread and butter today. So, and then you and me.
Most people can afford the necessities.
Most people in New Zealand.
If we had to break it down.
Absolutely. Most people in New Zealand are what you and I are. We live in a house that doesn't rain inside. We have a car. We sometimes every, I don't know, year or maybe 2 years, we get to go to Bali, like a little international trip, or we go to Australia, and you have clothes and you have your stuff, and we're good, and we're sweet as, and we have a medical problem, and you go and pay for the doctor, and we're good to go. So, that's the majority of us, that's your mates, my mates, and the majority of people. And maybe, but John is a business owner, he makes $200K a year, and Mary is struggling a bit more, and she works as an assistant for somebody else, and she makes $60K. Yeah, but that's the gap. 60 to 200 is the gap. That's kind of where majority of us are. That's it. And then you go to the rich people, and then the actual own big companies, and then cool. But I guess what I'm saying is that the biggest difference for me from Brazil to New Zealand was that here the opportunities are much more around you. In Brazil, the opportunities have to be made, and it takes so much more effort, much more time to make the opportunities, of connection and people. Saying that, it's much easier to sell things in Brazil than it is here, because it's 220 million people country. So whatever the hell you decide to sell nowadays with the power of the internet.
I was going to ask you about the population part. Coming to New Zealand because we're so much smaller. Some people I know from, I remember I was in a band with a guy from Bangladesh, and he said coming here from Bangladesh, I don't know what the population is, but it's huge. He was like, kind of freaked him out how quiet it was.
I love it.
That was all right for you?
I love it.
Oh, sweet.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Because he told me one thing he had to get used to was going to sleep, because he's used to noise, cars screaming on the road, shops, hustle bustle, and coming here it's just like...
No. I guess I absolutely love it. I love it, but I am not a crowd kind of guy, so I like, I'm going to catch a wave, I go to a beach, there will be 3 surfers on the wave, and that's awesome, we're just going to say hi to each other, and that's kind of it. You go to Brazil, there's 160 guys fighting for the same break, you go to this event that is quite low-key, but then here it will be, I don't know, 2,000 people watching a small band, and you're like, fuck, this is awesome. I watched, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I just remembered watching Fat Freddies drop at the zoo a few years ago, 10 years ago. And then we're sitting at the zoo, and the guys are playing around you. They're walking around you because there's no stage. And it's such a Kiwi thing.
Very much.
Very Kiwi, because we like drinking wine and cold beer, and we're barefoot, and then the guys are just doing their thing and walking around you. And I love the band. I love that kind of vibe. When in Brazil you want to watch a local band like that, it would be thousands of people and hours on waiting, and then parking your car, and it's just so big. Everything is big, And I myself, this is just a personal opinion. I don't like it. Yeah.
No, fair enough. No, those are pretty interesting ones. And you yourself speak Portuguese and Spanish as well?
I cannot speak Spanish.
Can't speak Spanish?
I mean, I can lie on Spanish. I'll go to the bathroom and maybe get somebody's number, but that's it. I'll get a chick's number, and I'll be like, that's kind of it. But I don't speak Spanish.
Damn, bro, she's in the male bathroom. I have to think about it. You don't know what kind of what you're getting in there. But hey. Each to their own, bro.
Yes, absolutely.
No
judgment here.
No.
Yeah, no. I could not say I speak Spanish. Yeah. Portuguese is very similar, though. So it
is similar, right?
Sometimes you just chuck
I don't know
accent.
heaps about it, but when I hear the two next to each other,
it is. But if you chuck an accent on top of Portuguese, you're probably gonna get by. You do get by. But you don't. I wouldn't be arrogant enough to say I speak Spanish.
Trying to pick up a little Portuguese from Alex Pereira, the UFC fighter.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
he's great, man.
Yeah,
he's just captivated people by just saying "shama."
Yeah. He's awesome. Yeah,
he's a beast.
Yeah, he barely speaks English, right? He speaks very little English.
Pretty much. Very little. But he's an absolute global superstar, and rightfully so.
That's amazing, right? He's
motherfucker, but
a big brand, international brand. And he barely communicates verbally, You know, that's amazing. It's so cool. It goes to show how personality goes a long way.
It's huge, yeah. And it really shows people, I think, that you don't need to be able to
No.
actually communicate. Everyone can...
It helps, I guess.
Especially with fighting, like everyone gets fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we know how good he is,
Mm.
and we admire the art that he's doing on the octagon, and that's it. Yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
Something that communicates and gets resonates with people. Something that I think businesses... I think you get too lost in your own discipline. I think that happens a lot. And even I have as well, like whether it be even when I was doing music and trying to promote music, get too lost in the technicalities of everything where it's like, oh, wait a minute, like, how are you going to get people to come to your show who don't know what the hell you're doing?
Yeah.
That's kind of what got me interested in marketing to start with. Yeah. Because I was like, I need to learn this mysterious art.
I love that. Have you heard of their saying? It's actually not a saying, but for some reason I love this thing that I learned from somebody else, which is basically what you just said. It's not the best book, it's the best seller that they call, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I love that, because what you just said is
true.
it's not the fucking best band they're gonna get the best crowds. It's the band that knows how to market themselves and manage themselves to a point where it gets crowds. So it's not a meritocracy. It's not about I wrote the best book, therefore it will be sold by itself. No. You wrote the best book, now you have a good product to market properly.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can make it the best seller, but not the best book.
Yeah.
You know? I love that, because it's not the best book that wins, it's the best seller. The name of the award is the best seller. You know? So it really is the idea of what you and I do. For example, you with paid traffic, with marketing, me with organic, and obviously both things are interconnected. But it's finding ways to sell things that are good, but people are struggling to sell because they don't know how to sell. They know how to make that thing.
I'm still working on that part too.
Yeah.
How to sell.
Yeah.
It doesn't come naturally to me.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's something I've had to work on quite a lot. But I guess for yourself, and I think New Zealanders, like some people are okay, but I know people from overseas. I think it's just because of competition and the amount of people. I think it just comes with you, like within your DNA. I think especially South Americans.
I don't know if
enthusiasm.
For me, it was my father is a sales rep my
Okay.
entire life. Like he was manager for so many businesses like related to sales. But I think it's to do with. It might sound a bit arrogant, but I think that sales can be taught. They can, but you either have it or you don't. You know, like that thing. You can get much better if you don't have it, and then you'll be successful. But I think that it's you have to have that thing, and that thing is very simple. It's giving a fuck.
Yeah.
That thing is actually giving a shit of what I'm gonna sell to you is gonna make you better. That, you know what I mean? Like I generally say no to clients that I don't think the brief store is not gonna help. You know, like I have said, like not long ago, a startup came to us, and we were talking about a contract, $110,000 a year, great money, and I'm like, yeah, that's amazing. But we went through the books and we talked about money, we talked about how much they need to generate, and I said, look, you don't need organic right now. If you spend $110,000 and you don't generate all the sales that you want right now, you will blame me for that. You know, and that's maybe not what you need. Maybe you need an injection of ads only, so you can get another 5 or 6 clients, and then go above the red line, and then start creating your brand. You know, but it's balls to say, I care of what I'm doing and how I'm selling this, and I care for you, and I don't think you should buy it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And for me, that's what empowers me to become every day a better salesman, is because if I am explaining to you a service and I have the feeling that you're going to get better, I am always putting myself in your shoes. I'm going, Scotty, don't be dumb.
Yeah, it's also,
you know, like I buy this because
yeah.
I would too, mate. Like I'm trying to show you how this is going to be amazing to you, you know? And if I don't have that, I normally just back off. I go, yeah. Nah. You know.
It's also being like empathetic. Like that's a big part, I think, of like if you truly are a good sales, in my opinion as well, is being empathetic and also transparent.
Correct.
Which most salespeople are not.
Yeah. that's part of what we're trying to do here, right? In terms of the brief store talks about the snake oil salesman, you know, like the whole, hey, 20% off, oh, hey, 10% off, oh, would you like to buy this? And it comes with this, you know, like, which is the old school sales guys, which is selling, pushing. And
once the sale's done, it's like, oh, it's not working properly.
yeah, but it's well, you knew that it was plastic. You knew it was plastic. Why did you buy? You know, that kind of approach. So that's one of the reasons why we position ourselves as a creative partnership. Meaning, what is it? What do we have to do? We have to do this. Okay, let's do that. Or that's not working. Let's twist. Let's tweak it and work on it until it's actually working. You know, I almost see like every time I'm sitting in front of a prospect, I'm talking to a client, and I see myself 10 years ago when I was starting another business that I had, and I'm like, fuck, I just need help with this digital world. I know how to sell. I just need help with the digital world. And then I would be like, oh, but there's all of those guys. Because then you come across the dudes are like, you know, if you don't get it, you don't pay the contract, or we guarantee, you know, like, they're like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, the guarantee shit needs to stop.
I hate the guarantee.
There's a lot of guarantees.
There is no guarantees in marketing. There is no guarantees in content. There's so many variables. You have to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
But what a great gamble, though.
It is an amazing gamble, because if you truly believe you can do it, you fucking do it. You know, that's it.
And even if you miss out, like, for example, this podcast, I've been doing it for like a year and a bit now, and I haven't like the whole growth thing. I've just kind of been experimenting with putting out stuff and seeing what happens. But if it's like, I need 1,000 followers in 6 months, otherwise I stop, and I'm like, that is the worst thing you could think of.
That's it. You're gonna
if you
lose
focus on metrics and focusing on like return. I need return. And it's like, it really depends on what you're doing. But if it's like this kind of thing, like brief store TV, you're saying, again, you're like, I know this isn't gonna return, but the payoff is a lot in a lot of other ways, and the not just saying you might get a couple of. Maybe you get to close a couple because of people who found it, but the learning you get.
Yes,
you get to educate yourself all the time. Because you might find we upload a video and it's like, oh, this one did fucking really good. Why did it do so well? And then tomorrow it's like, oh, this one did like a quarter. What's happening here?
Yes.
And then always get to keep uploading and get to see why. So I think that stuff, people forget. It's like, well, the education?
Yes. I agree. I completely agree, man. And to be honest, I think that you use your podcast as an example.
As a learning platform for myself, as well as getting to learn about people like yourself and get to do lots of cool
But not only
things.
that, if you think about it though, like if you take the pressure completely, you don't have to grow this ever.
Nope.
You don't have to make this viral. You don't have to make this even. Honestly, just you and your mom watch this. That's it, right? If you get to as low as that, you have 2 followers and 2 views every month. If that is happening, you're sitting in front of people that you want to have a conversation, and you're documenting the story. You're documenting the whole process of that. So, in other words, you are, like you just said, you are learning so much in the process that you're gonna make this better, and then it's only one way. It's actually gonna become successful. So if you peaceful and patient enough about carrying on, the only exit of it is success. Or you can't do a stop before you actually succeed. You know? So they say, like, once you become a business owner or an entrepreneur, you only have 2 destinations. You either quit or you succeed.
Yeah.
Because if you don't quit, you succeed. You know, that's it.
And you're consistent.
Yeah, that's it.
Consistency.
But I done it for 3 months and it didn't work. Okay, change things around. You know, like just change the lighting, maybe put some different background, maybe buy some new camera, invest a little bit, buy new cameras, and then make it a little bit easier to watch. Okay, cool. Done for another 3 months, 6 months. It got better, but it's still not where I want it to be. Okay, cool. But don't get attached to the fruit. Get attached to the work.
It's like, but it's also like, where should it be?
Yeah. Exactly.
Where should it be?
Yeah.
Because I don't think people think about that enough.
Yeah. So I would say to you and to any other podcasters out there or content creators, don't focus on get big. Don't focus on getting big. Focus on getting better. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Don't focus on getting big. Focus on getting better. Because when you get better, naturally, you'll get bigger. You will get bigger. Because if you are a mean ass presenter and you get some mean guests and you have beautiful camera lighting, you have beautiful lighting, and it just is. It's like this, and then the right eyes will catch it, and opportunities will be created from there. That's it. Yeah.
100%.
I believe that at least. Yeah.
All right, bro. We're nearing our end. I'm going to get into some quick fire questions
Let's
that
do
I
it,
just
let's
kind
do
of pull out of the air. That's how I like to do it.
Cool.
All right. First one, straight off the bat. What is your favorite camera brand?
Sony, no doubt.
Sony?
Yeah.
You tried everything?
Not really. No, I haven't. No, well, I can't say no. I have never used an RE before. I would love to. And I think that the answer has to be based on my experience.
Sure.
On my experience is Sony for sure, because the game I play, Sony is the monster. So I wouldn't use a Blackmagic or RE to shoot content for Instagram. But I would use a FX6 or an FX9, which people listening right now are cinema cameras and expensive cameras, and already I'm overdoing for Instagram, but it gives me more of a freedom to create stuff. So, for example, an FX3, Sony FX3 is just in my opinion, the perfect camera for content creation. It gives you cinematic looks, it gives you amazing vibes, it gives you amazing texture, and it's like 7K. An RE will be like what? Depending on, an Alexa will be what, 300K? So
Right.
different game.
What's the worst piece of advice you've received?
Don't ever change. Don't ever change. Bullshit. Fucking change. Keep on changing. Keep on evolving, and fuck the guy from yesterday. You're a different dude now. Remake yourself. Yeah. Just that's it.
How do you remain positive?
I always have my eye on a goal. I am the kind of guy that has to be working for something. Yeah, I don't like the idea of drifting. I love the idea of swimming. I am swimming to wherever I'm going. I'm not drifting.
Favorite coffee to order?
To order a long black cream, long black with a little bit of cream.
Got that black coffee bit of cream?
Yeah, to be honest, I've always been a double shot long black kind of guy, but for some reason, few months or maybe 6 months, I started having cream on my coffee, and then that's it. I'm ruined now. Like that's just my coffee now. Long black with cream. Yeah.
Going back to sort of like countries, what's something that you miss about Brazil?
Warmth. Not physically. People.
People?
Yeah. Going to a stranger's house and the stranger treating you like it's family. Going to someone's backyard party. The liveliness, the vibes is just, it's very difficult to describe how festive it is. And I love that, because here is you get hard. You forget that life is not just about work. My personality as well, I'm very focused, and then with, let's say, the restore now, I ended up forgetting to be festive. I have to force myself to celebrate things, when in Brazil it's just on your face. It's hard to actually not celebrate, because you end up drinking too much, you smoke too much, you do too much. Yeah. So it's great for a while, so you have to have balance, but that's why I try to go back every year and have a little bit of a blowout, see my family, and chill.
Chill. Nice. I'll give you one more. What have we got? If there's one piece of advice about what you do with content, what is something people should take away from, whether it be their business or personal brand, with content? What's the number one thing they should focus on when putting out content?
This is enormous. Like, in terms of, I could speak for an hour on this, but I'm gonna select one thing, and that thing is create content curated for your audience, not for yourself. You don't always speak the language of your buyers. So first identify who are your buyers, first identify who's your audience, and then create the content to speak with them. And I'm not saying be somebody else. I'm saying that if you are a 65-year-old real estate agent that doesn't have much more personality and doesn't want to be on camera, then maybe create content in a smart way. So get a PA that is young and is keen to be the face of that business, and then generate the content throughout their linguistic that will talk to your audience. Does that make sense? So I would say, yeah, to condense the whole thing is create the content for the people that you want to talk to, not just for yourself, or not for yourself at all. Like one of the things is one of the biggest platforms is YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
I came across this a long time ago, and I was like, this is crazy. YouTube, back on 2018, 19, got very big on vlogs, right? And a vlog is a very egotistical way to show your day, right? Sometimes, if you're not teaching anybody, if that's the old school vlog of like, hey guys, just having my breakfast now, like that kind of shit is just like kind of dead nowadays. Like if you're not teaching someone, hey guys, I'm having breakfast and then the macros are this and I'm having this because it makes me feel that way, that's different. I'm teaching you, brother, how to do it. But if it's just like, oh, hey guys, that whole like, fuck off, like
that was huge for radio.
It was enormous, what I mean? Like if you had a duck voice and you had nice tits and you just go like this, and you'd have a vlog, know. Which nowadays it's not anymore because people are just beyond that. People are just like, bro, like what are you teaching me, So what I would say is create the content for YouTube, not MeTube, right? So create the content for people, not for you. So if it's not about the person promoting themselves, it has to be about teaching. It has to be about education. It has to be about giving something, right? You might ask, the Bristol TV is not about teaching at all. In fact, it's a lot of swearing and a lot of un-PC jokes. But I'm giving a moment of laugh. I'm giving entertainment, So if you're not giving any of the main pillars, entertainment, emotional, educational, what are you doing? You're creating content for yourself. It's egotistical content. And egotistical content is just seen so from far away. People just go, what do you want, Scotty? Do you want me you want me to look pretty? Like, you want me to look at you and say that you're gorgeous? That's what it is?
I do.
Yeah, well, that's great. You're gorgeous, brother. So that's the whole point. I would say, okay, let's...
I know what you're talking about.
Tell stories that, or create content that is curated and focused for your people, not for yourself.
Nice. I think we'll round it there, bro. Hey, thanks for coming on, bro. And we'll call